Kubo and the Two Strings is the latest animated feature from Laika Studios. Laika Studios also made Coraline, The Box Trolls, and Paranorman. And like their previous films, Kubo and the Two Strings is also a stop-motion animated feature, which means they make these clay figures and they move them frame by frame a little bit at a time. And this is a serious art form. It takes months, a year plus just to do a single scene. So a lot of time and energy and work goes into making these films, and this one is probably the most beautiful out of all of Laika's films in my opinion. This is the story of Kubo, a young boy who goes off on an adventure to find a magical suit of armor to defeat a spirit from his past. And along the way, he meets a monkey, voiced by Charlize Theron, and a beetle, voiced by Matthew McConaughey. To be completely honest with you guys, this was a film that was not on my radar. I feel like although stop motion animation is a beautiful art form, it just wasn't something I was really looking forward to. But after some critical response and a lot of positive reviews, I felt like I just had to check it out, and it was definitely worth it. It was so surprising. I love this film. Now when I finally sat down to watch this film, I was blown away. It was absolutely beautiful. The animation was amazing. Kubo is a great protagonist. Monkey and Beetle are tons of fun in their own ways. It's a great story to really hear, listen to. I love how they sort of adapted this story. Now, I'm not a huge fan of stories like this. Ancient Japan stories really aren't my forte. Yes, I will watch them. Yes, I do like them occasionally, but they're not my go-to type of story, especially in sort of a claymation, stop motion type of film. But I have to say, this one was a ton of fun. For example, this film was told in such a way that it really captivated the imagination. It's told to you like a story is being told to you from another person, kind of like around the campfire, or like they were in ancient times where these were how stories were passed, that they were passed through word of mouth, and you basically had to use your imagination to fill in all the gaps. That's how I felt when watching Kubo and the Two Strings. It felt like these were the things that I would see in my mind as these actions, adventures were happening to this kid and this monkey and this beetle. It felt like this was something I would imagine. It was absolutely beautiful. I loved the use of like paper and how origami was kind of used in Kubo telling his own stories throughout the film. That was definitely something really interesting and really cool that I didn't expect from this movie. And again, everything about this movie is beautiful. It's beautifully written, directed, shot. The animation is wonderful. There's such a richness to this movie that I really didn't expect, and it just blew me away. I think another reason why I like the animation so much is that it also reminded me of two of my favorite scenes from two other movies from the past. Hellboy 2 and the Golden Army had a similar sort of scene where it went very minimalistic in the storytelling aspect, where Hellboy's father was telling him a story about the Golden Army, and it went very simplistic and artsy and simple, and it was just a great little moment inside of that movie. One of my favorite moments of the entire film. Same thing for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. When they were telling the story of the Deathly Hallows and three brothers that had each of the magical items, the Elder Wand, the Invisibility Cloak, and the Resurrection Stone, how they hid from death, that same style of animation, a lot more basic compared to Kubo and the Two Strings, but I felt like it immersed me in that environment, which I really liked a lot, because those were two of my favorite scenes from each of those movies. Kubo and the Two Strings took that sort of similar basic format, but elevated it to a level that I just didn't expect. Also, such a wonderful aspect of how this film is how deep it is. Not only is it just a fun adventure story for kids, it also has its sad moments, it also has its humorous moments. There's such a mixed bag of things happening here, but not mixed bag in a bad way. It blends everything so well together, makes such a great cohesive film that it was probably one of my favorite animated films, if not of the year, maybe of all time. This was a great animated feature, not done by one of those major studios like Disney or Pixar, DreamWorks that we know today. It was a little bit more simplistic, but it was beautiful. A lot better, in my opinion, than Coraline, a lot better put together, much better than Paranorman and Box Trolls by far. It was a huge surprise for me that I definitely can't wait to watch again, and I highly recommend. The grade I'm going to give to Kubo and the two strings is an A. I can't reiterate enough just how amazing, beautifully done this movie is, just how wonderful and rich and lush this story is, not only story-wise, but visually as well. I definitely recommend it. I highly, highly recommend you see this film. You don't have to rush out to the theaters to see it, but I definitely think you should check it out when it comes out on Blu-ray and video on demand at the very, very least. Also, I think it was such an amazing animated feature. I really hope it gets, at least for the very least, nominated for some type of Oscar or major award nomination, because it was absolutely stunning and amazing. And I really hope that Laika Studios gets the recognition it deserves for making such a wonderful film. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Also, be sure to check out my latest review for Morgan, which I just posted yesterday, which I'll leave up in the corner here. Also, don't forget to check out my in-depth Fast and Furious analysis video, also up in the corner here. Also, links down below in the description. And also, be on the lookout for a bunch of other reviews that I have coming up. I still have a ton to catch up on, including Don't Breathe, Sully, Snowden's coming up, Magnificent 7 is coming up. I've got a ton of reviews, and I really want to start what I'm calling my Cinema Showdown. Hopefully I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to try and get it on a schedule, because I think that would be a little bit easier to follow, as if I have a scheduled at least one video a week type of thing. So be on the lookout for those things. Thank you again so much for watching. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.